It's one of the biggest questions we can face. How much say do we have over our own lives, especially at the very end? It's this incredible meeting point of medicine, law, and our own personal beliefs. And today, we're going to dive into a landmark legal ruling that gives us a pretty powerful answer. All right, so let's get right to the heart of it, right? Who has the final say? Who gets to refuse medical treatment, even if it might mean, well, death? Is it the doctors? Is it the government? Or is it you, the person whose life is actually on the line? For a really long time, the answer was just murky, and that led to so much pain and impossible choices for families. But then, in 2018, things changed. A definitive answer finally came down from the Supreme Court of India. This was a single case, but man, it completely shifted the conversation around end-of-life care in the country forever. And the case is called Common Cause versus the Union of India. This was the moment. This is where the court decided to tackle this incredibly sensitive issue head on. And in doing so, they set a precedent that really truly champions our individual autonomy. And the entire decision, really, it all came down to this one powerful idea. The court said, the right to life includes the right to die with dignity. Think about that. They took two things that seem like complete opposites, life and death, and connected them. Their point was that a meaningful right to life isn't just about keeping a heart beating at all costs. It has to include the right to a dignified, peaceful end. So you might be wondering, how did the court even get there? What's the legal thinking behind a statement like that? Well, let's break it down. Let's decode this right. Okay, so it all comes back to Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. This is the big one, the fundamental right to life. But here's the genius of the court's interpretation. They argued that a life without dignity, a life of just constant suffering with zero hope of getting better, that's not the kind of life Article 21 was meant to protect. So they reasoned the right to life must also include the right to refuse treatment to avoid that kind of fate. It's a really profound shift in thinking. So this is the crucial distinction the court made. On one hand, you've got life with dignity, which is all about upholding your personal choice, your autonomy. And on the other hand, you have prolonging suffering, just artificially keeping someone alive when there's no hope of recovery. The court drew a line in the sand. They made it clear, dignity and personal choice come first, over just biological existence. But okay, it's one thing to say you have this right. It's a whole other thing to give you a way to actually use it. And that's where the court got really practical. They recognized a critical tool, the living will. So what is a living will, or as it's also called, an advanced directive? Honestly, it's pretty simple. It's basically your voice for the future. It's a legal document that you prepare while you're healthy and of sound mind, and in it, you clearly state what kind of medical care you would want, or, just as importantly, what you wouldn't want if you ever got into a situation where you couldn't speak for yourself. And the process for how this all works is designed to be really straightforward. Step 1, it all starts with a competent adult making a conscious choice. Step 2, in their living will, they can say no to specific treatments or even all treatment. And step 3, and this is the most important part, that decision written down has to be respected. Doctors, family, everyone, they have to honor your wishes, even if it might lead to the end of your life. Okay, so we've got the ruling, we've got the living will, but what's the big picture here? What's the lasting legacy of this case? Why does this matter so much, not just in a legal sense, but for every single one of us? Well, the impact is just huge. First off, it puts personal autonomy front and center. It's a powerful statement that we have control over our own bodies and our own medical decisions. It also brings so much needed legal clarity for doctors and families who are so often caught in these absolutely heartbreaking situations. It makes those advanced directives, those living wills, legally powerful. It ensures our wishes will actually be heard. And maybe most importantly, it affirms that dignity is a fundamental part of being human, from the very start of our lives all the way to the very end. And that really leaves us with one final profound question to think about. The court's ruling gives us a legal framework, which is incredible. But the core question, that's deeply personal for every single one of us. What does it truly mean to live and, ultimately, to end a life with dignity?